Knowing you personally, I feel that a lot of your lack of confidence stemmed from a certain event you had with another internet personality, namely Leafy. Like I've already explained the overall story from my perspective, but what was it like for you, like being in one of his videos and being called out by him?
Well, obviously that plays a large part as well, and like my lack of confidence. Also, I just don't think I'm a very confident person, but with the Leafy thing,
how did it all start? Like, what was the how did you when did you make that video? And then
I made that video actually because you know how obviously I used to be that predictable kind of weeby cringe girl, but up until I think the first time I went to Japan, and then I came back from Japan and I looked at myself. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me? And that's when I made that video kind of as like, oh my god, like people like this exist,
like poking fun.
Yeah, poking fun. It was kind of like a satire.
It was too good though.
It was way too real.
You understood your core audience way too well.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, I thought it was legit.
Yeah. And then like this one creepy guy kept re-uploading it, and like he kept uploading to 4chan, and obviously, and then I deleted it when I was like 17 because I was like, I don't want this kind of.
So how long was it up before you deleted it?
About a day.
And
a day?
Like a few days maybe, but not. It was not up long.
Wait, so what? It just like blew up straight away?
No, and then a few years later, like I haven't been doing YouTube in a bit. I was just like still like in England, and then I get this notification from this girl that I knew in like. Who kind of like goes on 4chan and stuff like that, and she said, "Hey, this video of you?" And it was me. Obviously, it was a video, and it had about 60,000 views. And I'm just like, initially, I was pretty like embarrassed. I didn't feel good. Like to me, 60,000 views at that time was
That's a lot.
It might have been the world.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like felt pretty shitty about that. But then, not even a week later, I wake up in the middle of the night to my phone just constantly vibrating with all of these messages from people I went to high school with, people I've met maybe once or twice, all on Facebook, all on Skype, Twitter, just everywhere of like, hey, you're in a Leafy video and you're pretty cringe. And
this was like at the peak of Leafy.
This was at the peak.
Right?
This is actually his most viewed video ever.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
How many views does it have?
It had, last time I checked, like 20 million? Something like that.
Jesus
it was a
Christ.
lot.
Because
And it sucked because I woke up to hundreds of emails of people telling me to kill myself, and this lasted for months.
Yeah, because I remember every time because how the ball kept rolling was that every time like the comments would start to die down, there would be another cringe compilation, and it was the cringe compilations that kept
really
this going on for
me,
so long because it appeared in the Leafy video, which was just like which just lit the fucking fire, and then you got all the Leafy fans, and then as soon as that like you basically holed up in like a bunker and just like kept away from the internet, and as soon as you like came out, another cringe compilation would come out,
and then I'd be getting still even to this day people I know message me like with the video like, hey, I just saw you in a cringe compilation, and kind of like slightly make fun of me. And obviously it doesn't feel initially for years like, of course, like I like it was awful. Like I didn't touch my phone, I would cry a lot. I went through a pretty bad period, not gonna lie. Like it was awful, and no amount of words or like any kind of emotion I could show you now could show you how terrible it kind of was.
Oh, I mean, just imagining it is just fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, it was terrible.
Because I can't imagine it gets to the point where people I knew from like my hometown, people who like didn't know about like anime and stuff, like I think that was the point when I remember it like really hit you that, man, this has gone really far when you're high school friends.
In person.
Yeah, because like that's 20 million views on one video, but on all those compilations, there was like it could easily be up to like 100 million views.
Exactly, and
it's a lot of fucking people.
Obviously, talking about it now, like it doesn't feel great, but I think I've of course, I mean, it's been so long. I've accepted it. When people say like, oh, you're really like, or say insults, I'll be like, dude, like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't give a shit.
I mean, I think the fact that you've managed to like live through that and still being like, I still want to like stay on the internet, I think it's pretty fucking commendable. I know I would immediately leave the internet.
That was I definitely almost didn't even try with YouTube because like, but aren't really like.
I mean, I don't blame you. Like, I think anybody would be like, no, never going on the internet.
I mean, it took a lot of convincing to try and get Sydney back on the internet. And it was something where I knew that Sydney had a personality that could like succeed on YouTube, but it was just trying to convince her that, hey, just ignore all these comments that you've been hearing over the past.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, fuck the haters. Fuck the haters. Fuck the hate comments. and just be you. Because I don't, like, one thing I can appreciate about Sydney is that she doesn't know how to be anyone but herself. Like, what you see is like what you get. So like that like can also backfire sometimes, where, you know, people don't know where like people, like, you know, people think, you know, where like the cringe compilation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're where you are now, and I think you're doing pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's one thing I can say, you're a personality, Sydney.
You are definitely a personality.
100%
Congrats on being a personality.
You made it.
Dude, I felt so bad because I remember, like, I don't know if you remember this, but I didn't know it was you. But I knew you because of voice acting, right? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Dude, I felt so bad about this. But now I don't give a shit. Because I know you, so I don't care.
Yeah.
So I knew Sydney from voice acting. And so when I met Sydney, when I first saw her in person, I was like, oh shit, it's her.
Yeah, you're like, hey.
And I was like, wait.
And that was like the reaction that Sydney like was so scared of, because there'd be so many times when we'd be walking around and she'd just see like a person like turn around and she's like, and Sydney would be like, he knows. We need to leave right now. Oh god.
Not the greatest side of like, oh, I'm a celebrity, but more of like, oh shit.
Yeah. So like,
I need the other pair of sunglasses.
I first met Sydney, and then I realized that it was her, and I asked her, I was like, Sydney, are you the like cringe girl? I think I said that, and you were like,
you said that?
I remember just looking down. I'm like, I'm never gonna talk to this guy again. Fuck this.
She was like, I have no idea what compelled me to ask you. I think because like as I was talking to you, it just came in my head, and I was like, say it, Connor, say it, fucking say it. I don't know why I would never do that normally. I would normally go home and fucking analyze, enhance, you know. But yeah, I asked you, and then I remember when you told the story the first time about how hard it was. I was like, oh shit, that's awkward. I should not have.
Jokes about it, and I'd be like, I don't know him well enough to tell him to stop. Because I don't mind now, obviously, but back then I was like, because
it's weird for me because I found out about the whole Leafy thing after I met you.
Yeah.
So like when I first met you, all I knew you was Gaunt's partner.
Yeah.
So it was really like weird hearing that story like afterwards, because I don't know if you told me or someone else told me. I think maybe you told me about it.
I think it was when we first.
It's probably when we first met.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm the
beer,
cringe.
and you're like, hey.
I think I got you drunk enough when you were like, by the way, I was in a Leafy video.
Like something came up and like you were like, oh, do you do stuff online? I'm like, no, but maybe you see me at that time.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I wasn't on YouTube as much at the time. Like I was on YouTube, but I wasn't going around watching other YouTubers at the time.
I'm like cripplingly addicted to YouTube.
Yeah, and also like at that point as well, I hadn't been on 4chan in years, right? So I didn't know what the fuck was happening over there as well. So then when I saw that video after you told me about it, I was like, oh, okay, this is the video that people are talking about. But I think, but it was really weird. Like, I don't know if I'm maybe the first one. To be like,
I think you actually were. Like, you're the first and only person who's just like, didn't know.
If it's any consolation, I don't think it was that bad.
Thank you.
That was way worse.
I don't think it was that bad either. I think they were way worse.
I thought it was pretty obvious to me, but I guess it was.
I think it's just because it's anime. People like anime's cringe.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Especially back then as well.
Yeah.